Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm just uh, continuing on with the my top non-established number of favorite horror films of all time. And as I said in the last video, these are mainstream horror films, not underground films. I have so many box collections of underground films that I could probably do a crazy video. Oh my goodness, the cats are fighting again. Stop. Ugh. I love them, but stop. But anyway, I could do so many videos on those if I had the patience to sit and re-watch a lot of them. There are some that I really like, but um, it's because they're on box sets. It's really hard to sort of, I did watch the movie Inside last night. If you've never seen that, it's a French film. It's a horror movie. It's graphic as hell, and it's really good though. It's really good, but there's a lot of blood in it, and one thing the only criticism I have about that film is the police in the film. It's a French film, so it's not an American film. It's maybe the police in France are a little bit different. I don't know how it works, but I would say these are the worst trained police officers of all time. Are you coming over here? What are you doing? Hey, where's Gunner going? There's a box here. What's he doing? Oh, no, he's going over there now. But anyway, it is an excellent film. Check it out. And if you like subtitles, if you're okay with that, I don't mind subtitles at all. But the English dubs are actually pretty good. They don't sound ridiculous and like fake. They're actually believable, if you know what I mean in terms of dubs. Anyway, let's get this video started. I'm gonna have a sip of my beer. That over there, and we'll start with the first one. This is The Changeling. It is, I don't know if I even consider this a horror film, but it is an excellent movie. It's with George C. Scott. He's been in a lot of things. He sort of kind of plays the same character in a lot of his movies, but he's really good in this. He's a pianist and I don't know, a music writer, I guess. Where is there a word for that? What do you call it? A composer? That's what he is. He's a composer and he writes music. And his wife and son pass away. They die in a tragic accident that you'll see in the beginning of the film. And let me put my glasses on. Can't find my good glasses, so I had to grab my old man glasses that I found in a bench in a park. But they're reading glasses and they work well. But and it goes about how a mystery and the cat just opened the cupboard and he goes in there and it drives me up the wall. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, sorry, the cat was going in the cupboard. That's what that little blink was about. But you watched his wife and son die in a tragic accident, moved into a house, this big mansion. I guess he's like a cajillionaire because this is a massive, beautiful house. And the interesting thing about it, there is a house there, but the creepy front of the building is actually they built that just for the movie. You gotta check this movie out if you've never seen it. It's really good. It's creepy as hell. Yeah, it's got a ghost in a wheelchair and stuff. It is a really, really good movie. Check this one out. It is up there. I don't consider it a horror movie. It's more of a psychological mystery with ghosts, but it's really good. This one here, I don't consider it a horror movie, but a lot of people do. It is an amazing film. Amazing film. No, it's an excellent film. With Todd Browning did this shortly after he did Dracula, and then this film pretty much destroyed his career because it was so weird. This was banned for years and years and years in different countries, even in the United States and Canada, and from what I get, until the 1960s. This came out in the 30s. It used real, disabled people that were working in circuses at the time, and it was just so hard for people to take that in at the time that it freaked them out. But it is a really good movie. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just excellent. One of the main characters is actually one of the Munchkins in the Wizard of Oz. The what do you call the Lollipop Guild. Um, and he was the only one that could speak English. In the one of the only few that could speak English in the Wizard of Oz, in out of the group that were being auditioned to be the Lollipop Guild, and he got it. And he was like an older guy, and the other two, if you ever watch the Wizard of Oz, check it out. The other two that are with him are like young little people, and he's like this old guy, but he's all in the makeup, so you can't really tell. But he is, where would he be? Oh, he's so you can only see him from behind. He's right there. But this is, oh, and he's up there too. But check this movie out. This is an excellent movie. It sucked that Todd Browning's career just sort of went because of it. So, but it is an excellent film. This one here means a little bit of a weird thing. It's a cult film. It's something weird video. It's in that category of things, but it's an underground film, or it's a sort of a forgotten, lost film. Basically, what happens? These people show up end up in a small town, and they have this thing called like their centennial or something every 100 years, and then they take these people and they torture them to death. And these weird things, but they invite them in as guests. They're very redneck. There's a lot of Confederate flags flying around everywhere. But the reason I love this film, well, besides it's silly as hell, and 2,000 maniacs are basically the town. The population is 2,000 people, and then the town disappears after they do their centennial thing, and then I guess in 100 years. But I don't know how the timeline works, because the movie came out in like the early 70s, late 60s. I don't know, but they are. The technology is what it is at that time, so how does the technology change? It was 100 years earlier. They didn't have cars and all that stuff. But anyway, it's a fun movie, and I really like it. I pop it in every once in a while. It's kind of dark and twisted and fun. But the reason I got this the first time when I saw it in the video store, I said, oh, I gotta get that, is because when I was a kid, I was like small. The first video my parents ever got when we got our VCR was this movie. They didn't know anything about it. They just grabbed it off the shelf, and we watched it, and they were laughing. Even at when I was like a kid, I thought it was silly and campy and stuff. But my parents were like, "Oh, I guess we got to look into the movies. We got to read the back of the boxes." I'm so glad they didn't with this one, because this is a fun movie to watch. So check this one out. It's a good movie for that style of kind of pseudo horror. Anyway, this one here, this is more of sci-fi horror. If you've never heard of this film, hey, check this out. This is an excellent film. It's I guess you can call it tech noir, something that James Cameron came up with when he did Terminator. He called that tech noir, and also The Club and the Terminator was called tech noir, and it was this thing he came up with, and this would fall definitely into that category. It's post-apocalypse, and some guy finds this helmet out in the desert and gives it to his girlfriend or whatever, and its mind is like still alive. It's got a computer in it, and it just takes everything around it, and it just turns into this monster that's just this killing machine. And it's all done, and I guess it's kind of low budget. It's done in this small apartment. It takes place, and it's just a really good movie. A lot of blood, a lot of like edge of your seat kind of stuff. It is an excellent movie. Check this freaking movie out, man. This is really good. Just check out the trailer. The trailer alone tells you that this movie is good. It is so well done. Look at me and look at that. That's just on the back, like it is excellent. Now we'll go back a little bit in time. Phantom of the Opera, 1920. I'm going to say 23. I don't know. I can't remember. Phantom of the Opera. Lon Chaney Lon Chaney Sr. right here. This is an excellent movie. If you can't tolerate subtitled Southern films, then I am so sorry because you're missing out on this movie. This is an excellent film. I mean, his makeup, he is kind of in a way one of the godfathers of prosthetic effects or prosthetic features. He did it all himself. He had a basically think of a toolbox full of stuff that you can just put on your face, pull your mouth up here, your ears down, and this, and your eyelids up here. He was in so much pain when he did this. He showed up on set. He created this. The directors didn't tell him this. There wasn't another makeup artist. He did this. Like, I mean, he did that. That was all him. Like, wow, this guy, like, there's a reason why they call him a man of a thousand faces. Now, talking about Lon Chaney, he was not even a horror actor. He was a character actor, and he just only did a few horror films. I mean, like, everybody knows, of course, this, and Hunchback of Notre Dame, that he did all that. He even had permanent injuries on his back from he had, I think it was made of plaster, this big heavy hunch that he had on his back, and London After Midnight, which no one will ever see because the last copy of it was destroyed in a fire in 1965, which is incredibly heartbreaking. But he did makeup and everything for so many movies that he had done that were not horror films. The guy was just an acting genius. And the thing also about him is that his parents were deaf, so he would go home, and when he would try and talk to his day about his parents, he'd use sign language, but he also emote and do all these things. And I guess they can read lips, but he would do these physical things, and which made him amazing in the silent film era. He just knew how to do that. And then when he started applying makeup to his face, and you got this, and just the way he reacted, definitely one of the greatest actors of all time. And this film is definitely worth watching. Like, check this movie out. Like, seriously, it is that. And I have a couple of Phantom of the Opera stuff. So yeah, I only pulled this one off, but and it's got his organ and stuff. This is NECA. That's why it's so fucking detailed and so amazing. But that's that. But check that movie out. It is so good. Okay, this one here. This is The Host. This is it's a Korean film. It is so well done. The printing, I'm gonna admit, I bought this at the pirated video shop in the mall in Chinatown. That they don't. It's not there anymore because DVDs are not selling because you can just download everything, of course. But this is an excellent movie, The Host, and I can't remember his name. He is such an iconic Korean actor. He's in everything. He's so freaking amazing. I can't remember his name. He was in. He was also in Snowpiercer, the movie, but he's been in so many things: comedies, horrors. This is kind of like a borderline horror comedy, but it is such a good movie. It's a monster movie. Check this movie out. It is so good. I came across it just by accident, and then I had to go find a copy of it, and I got it's a pirated copy, but it's got all the features and everything else. And check this movie out. And it's The Host. It is so good. It is so good. Check that out. It's a monster movie, and you know who does in it? Herschel from The Walking Dead. He was in Exorcist 3. He's been in a few other things that I'm surprised. I see him once in a while. I go, oh my goodness, it's him, and I don't know the actor's name, but I always know him as Herschel from The Walking Dead. But he's in this, and actually it was his actions that make this movie happen, so he's kind of the villain. But anyway, here we go. And Frankenstein. This is Universal Frankenstein, and Frankenstein is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I love this movie. I love the effects. Directed by James Whale, of course, Boris Karloff. the special effects are just incredible for its time. I love this. I got so many Frankenstein toys and figures and everything else. I don't know really what to say aside from this. I mean, you got oh boy, what's his name? Like I said in the last video, you always know their name until you need to know them. But I'd like to look in the Colin Clive. It's now I've been here just hitting Colin Clive. One of the most iconic lines in horror movies that was actually banned off the cat doing weird shit behind me. Get. Out. Come on, monkey. Go. Okay, stay there then. That's fine. Or, you know what? Come here. Come in, say hi to everybody. There you go. But Colin Clive, and it's one of the most iconic lines that was banned for years. He goes something along the lines of, I was, wanted to be God, or now I know what it feels like to be God. It's such an amazing. After he goes, it's alive, which is probably the most iconic horror line of all time. Get over there, you. Come on, go. No, go over there, you silly dope. But yeah, it is so. I don't know what else to say. It's such an amazing film. The reveal in the film. Now, everybody knows what Frankenstein's monster looks like. Like in the Universal monsters are so iconic that when it comes to Halloween costumes and everything else, we know what they're supposed to look like. But that's not necessarily written in the movie. Go away, I said. Get. Just knocked over a bunch of shit. But anyway, it was get out of here, jeez. Jack Pierce's iconic makeup that's who I was thinking of, that came up with this and everything else. And it's just so amazing. But the reveal in this film, he walks out backwards. Now, we all know what he looks like Frankenstein looks like. But the audiences in 1931 didn't. And he walked out backwards. And then he turned around and people were just terrified when they saw this. That is how amazing this makeup is. It's, pull this out right there. It's, and this is also from the, what's called the Legacy Collection that I mentioned in the last movie with Dracula. And this is the collection again. This has all the sequels. What is it? Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Frankenstein. One of them, Bela Lugosi, does play Frankenstein. Lon Chaney Jr. plays Frankenstein. The funny thing is, Bela Lugosi was approached to play this before Boris Karloff, and he turned it down because he didn't want to be covered in makeup, and thought that would hinder his acting, and people would just be like, not know who he was. But didn't matter for Boris, and I'm trying to think of what his real name is. Henry Pratt? No, that doesn't sound right. George? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Look it up. That's what Google's for. But yeah. So it's ironic that a couple movies in, Bela Lugosi plays Dracula or Frankenstein. Now here's the funny thing is, when people think of Frankenstein walking around going like this, that never happens in the first three films. First one, second one, Bride of Frankenstein, I think, Son of Frankenstein, and one after that is the one Bela Lugosi. Now, what happens is Bela Lugosi's version of Frankenstein, he goes blind and suddenly he can't talk, but those scenes get deleted from the film apparently. So then you got him walking around like this, and it doesn't make any sense, and it just makes the character look really stupid. And it's a terrible movie, but for some reason, everybody remembers that, even though no one's seen that movie, because it's rarely ever shown. But anyway, we'll move on. We're going to go here. Return of the Living Dead. This is John Russo's follow-up after Night of the Living Dead. It's not a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. It's kind of its own thing. It's a lot of fun. It's the zombies in this. It's considered the first zombie, which is a zombie comedy, but it really isn't. I would give that to children. I need a drink. That'll all dry. Children shouldn't play with dead things, but this is an excellent film. If you've never seen this one, you got to check this movie out. It is so much fun to watch. It is. I don't know, it just goes in directions. The zombies are smart, they're talking and everything else. I love this movie. Watch this movie. And the soundtrack is a lot of fun. It's just party time. And then you got Tarman. He's the first one to go brains. And that's where the whole brains trope comes from, is in this movie. So check this one out. I got 2 more to go, and I'm going to do these fast because I'm already at 21 minutes. This one's called The Ruins. You got to check this movie out. It has a crazy twist in it. These people, tourists from the States, they go somewhere, I think, I'm going to say Mexico, I'm not sure. But they go somewhere and they go to this pyramid, and then people are telling them, don't go to this pyramid. And once they get there, they're not allowed off the pyramid. There's guys with machine guns that will not let them off, and they can't figure it out. Now, I'm not going to tell you why if you haven't seen the film already, because it will give away everything. This is an excellent movie. Check it out. It's just a weird, obscure horror film that I just came across. I just bought it one day. I just saw it and I go, oh, okay. I bought it in the secondhand DVD store and love this film. I love this film. Darkness Falls. This one is an excellent film too. I love this film. It's based on the Tooth Fairy. It's as weird as that sounds, and the way it's filmed almost reminds me of a lot of like good Japanese horror. I love it. And so I'm rushing these. I'm at 22 minutes, but it's just creepy as hell. I remember I saw this in the theater, and I was actually literally I watched it in the afternoon before work. I had a couple hours to kill, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat doing this. I don't know if I made that face. It's probably shoveling popcorn in my face because I'm a popcorn junkie when I go to the theater. But this movie just kind of got my attention. It's scary where it needs to be scary. It's good. It's think about the Babadook in a sense, in the opening scene and how it starts. It's kind of got that sort of vibe to it, but the practical effects are amazing. The puppets used in it, I don't know, it's just a really good film. It does have a few slow parts, but they're short-lived. Check this film out. Check it out. You'll love it if you love horror films and you haven't seen it. So anyway, if you sat through this whole video, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe, I really would love that again. And I'm at 23 minutes. I'm going to cut this off in a second. I just want to say thank you for watching, and until the next one, bye.